Hey everybody, welcome back to String and Story. My name is Holly Ann Knight, and it's my job to guide you to quilt and to live with confidence. I thought today I would show you what is here under my needle. So if you have been around String and Story for a little bit, you may recognize this as my Lanterns of Hope quilt pattern. And I am working on a rather complicated quilt plan. So I challenged myself today to do a quilt, this week, to do a quilting plan that completely ignores the seam lines of the quilt itself, right? And you can see here, this is a partially colored diagram, so you can kind of see how the quilt goes up. I've loaded it this away just to give you a point of reference, right? And I have done custom quilting before that involved some large-scale ruler work, but it was still somewhat inspired by the motifs in the fabric itself. And this is really its own animal that's going on here. And so I thought I would just talk you through this process a little bit. Now, underneath some of these fillers I'm starting to put in, you can see I've got my big circles, and I have some squares that are over on the side. And that's where I started, right? I started with those basic shapes and really quilted. So I basted the side of my quilt down, most of it anyway, and then put those basic shapes on there. And now I'm going through and I'm doing the more complicated ruler work. I'm doing some different fills. This is an interesting exercise. I've only done pebbles this big a couple of times, and I am having so much fun with it. And I share this with you today, and I want you to notice as well, pebbles, not a super easy motif, but one that is usually added to our quilting toolbox fairly early on in our quilting journey. These are simply ribbon candy that I retraced to add a second bubble. Wishbones, these are simply wavy lines, and a bit of ruler work going on over here and some switchbacks. And so what I point all that out because I want you to see that what I'm doing here on this quilt, while it's going to be very layered and complex by the time it's done, nothing I've done on this quilt in and of itself is hugely complicated, right? And I have put off quilting this quilt for weeks, maybe months, maybe just weeks, months. It's been a long time, right? Because I psyched myself out so much about this, okay? And when I finally jumped in and started going at it, I realized it's just like any other quilting plan, guys. You take it one section, one step, one motif at a time. You fill in those layers, right? It's going to be imperfect. I'll show you guys the wobbly line, right? Are there things that I will improve on next time? Absolutely. But this is all part of the journey. So if you have a quilt today that you've been wanting to do something really fun with, and for you, really fun might mean doing your first meander on your own quilt, right? But I encourage you today, take that jump and begin doing this custom work or begin your free motion quilting journey or begin your quilting journey. Whatever it is the next step for you. Take that plunge and push past the fear. Take it one step at a time and have so much fun because really that's what this is about, right? Is how fun this is. Have a great day, guys.